Hello, everybody. I'm Chase Gibson. College game day in the swamp. Gators, Tigers. Huge game in the SEC playoff race. Both teams looking to stay undefeated. And here to help me with that, first of all, my co-host Will Stewart. Nice to see you, brother.
Yep.
And we got a new guest on the show, first time, Mr. Nick Goldie.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. And we have our on-call man, Mr. Ben Hicks. Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Chase. How are you?
Pretty good. All right. Let's get this started. And we're going to start out with, just like we always do, Saturday slate. First game, Iowa taking on Michigan. Nick, we'll start with you since it's your first time.
All right.
What do you like about this matchup?
I think that this matchup heavily favors Iowa. I think that Michigan just can't move the ball consistently, as they've shown in the past few games. They had a big win against Rutgers last week, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to move the ball against Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, 52-0, but lost against Wisconsin. That really killed them. They allowed a bunch of rushing yards, and Iowa's running back, Ivory Kelly-Martin, he's no joke.
Yeah.
Will?
Totally agree.
How about you?
Yeah, they're home, aren't they? Yeah, huge advantage.
Yeah,
Michigan has
home.
been up and down this year. Almost lost to Army, which is pretty bad.
All right. Ben, what do you think?
Well, I honestly have no idea how Michigan's a 3.5-point favorite in this one so far this year. They've not deserved to be in the top 20, first of all.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even be ranked. They've looked terrible so far this year. Iowa deserves to be a top 15 team. Few Power 5 wins, like Iowa State. I think Iowa wins this game by multiple scores.
All right. And yeah, guys, everyone's focused on Wisconsin here for the Big Ten West. But Iowa's tied with them in first place.
Yeah.
Like, they're still undefeated. They are not out of the race.
Iowa is a big contender for that side of the conference.
Exactly. And if Iowa does beat Michigan by a lot and basically tie with Wisconsin basically for scoring margin against Michigan, when Wisconsin and Iowa play a couple weeks from now, how important is that game if they both come in undefeated, Nick?
That will decide the conference, and that might also decide who potentially goes to the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
Because usually, if the Big Ten winner does not go to the championship, they're usually in the Rose Bowl, as we saw last year with Ohio State.
It will. I mean, again, just how big is that game?
It's huge. Like you said, if you win, probably a huge contender.
Rose Bowl, and it might not just be Rose Bowl. You could see college football playoff. Iowa, they were one game away in the Big Ten championship before they lost to Michigan State. Yeah. So that was huge. Let's move on to our next game. Unranked versus unranked. Baylor taking on Kansas State. Really interesting. Baylor barely surviving against Iowa State. Brock Purdy had 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. It wasn't enough. Baylor pulled through. And Kansas State, they were ranked last week. They went into Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And Chuba Hubbard and Oklahoma State just blew them out of the water. Hubbard had over 150 rushing yards, multiple touchdowns, 13-26. They couldn't contend. We'll start with you this time.
First off, before the season, I said Baylor would jump in the top 25.
Okay, so
that was my prediction. Like one team to jump.
Exactly.
I think they will.
Okay.
I mean, if they can beat Kansas State, that's a.
Well, Charlie Perry has just been like up and down.
Yeah.
Another back consistent.
No. I mean, if you beat Iowa State, you can beat Kansas State.
I mean, but Kansas State, that was a really tough loss.
Yeah.
Will that affect them emotionally?
I think it could. They're mad, they're fired up. They're away, but I mean, I don't know.
All right, Nick, how about you?
Kansas State, both teams are coming off emotional games, but I think that Baylor, just riding momentum, comes off and wins 24-21. I think this is an honor.
I think honestly, like Baylor, Will, like you said, you predicted them to win. We asked for an underrated team, and you gave us one. But Baylor, this is such a big game for them because they have not lost yet. Just keep that in mind; they have not lost yet. Ben, what do you see in this game?
I think it'll be a very close game, high-scoring Big 12 game, but I like Baylor mainly because they're at home. I think it'll be a very close game. I got Baylor.
All right, I agree. And we head to our next game. I mean, this is huge in the Big Ten East race. Michigan State in Columbus. Ohio State favored by 20. I'm just saying. Ohio State favored by 20. Nick, what do you see, like offensive, defensive in this game?
I'm feeling more of a defensive game for Michigan State because I think Ohio State has the best offense in the country right now. And I think that if Michigan State can just continue their excellence on the defensive run, if they can just shut down the run game, I think that that's going to help them make a lot closer.
Yeah, because, I mean, they've upset Ohio State and Columbus before, I think 3 times in the last 5 times they've been there. So this is tough for Ohio State, but like Nick said, Justin Fields, 23 touchdowns in 5 games.
That's
Absolutely insane.
He's been insane this year.
And he has not turned the ball over yet this season. He's 16 passing touchdowns and has not turned the ball over yet this season. Michigan State, they're allowing 1.9 yards a carry. Yeah. Best in the country.
That's amazing. And if they can get interceptions and takeaways, they could.
Big plays is what's in this game.
Yeah, if they can get takeaways, fumbles, interceptions.
And remember, Ryan Mawerke, he leads the Big Ten East in passing yards. He's over Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But just Justin Fields in the run game, though. So
Justin Fields has weapons, but they have the air attack and they have the run attack. I think that Ohio State's the best team in the country. I think they win this game by a lot.
All right. So, Ben, what do you say?
Well, 2015, Michigan State came into Columbus, and because of that win, they got into the playoff. They kept Ohio State out. That's not going to happen this year. Ohio State coming off a 41-point win at Nebraska. I think it's another big win. I think Ohio State will win this one convincingly, maybe even by 30.
Wow. Okay, that's a big one.
Yeah,
and Nick, we discussed this with me before the show. This game, Cal and Oregon. Oregon might be favored by 17.5, but you said this is a game changer for the Pac-12.
This is a big game because I think that whoever wins this game, I think wins the Pac-12. I don't care if Utah is in. I don't care how good people think Utah is. Okay. I think that Utah is not consistent enough. And Cal is ranked. They were highly ranked before last week's loss. Okay. I think this is going to be a really close game. It's really hard to decide.
Okay. Well, keep in mind, Cal, they were 15th last week. They only lost by 7, and they dropped 12 spots to 27th in the AP Top 50. Yeah.
That's ginormous.
But I love the quarterback matchup here. These are guys that cannot run whatsoever. I mean, I'm just saying they cannot run whatsoever. It's Herbert, who's been awfully quiet so far this year.
Like a big breakout
he hasn't had a 5-touchdown, 350-yard game like so many of his games last year. And this kid, Chase Garbers, is something special for Cal. He's delivered. In the game against Ole Miss, 4 touchdown passes. They won 20-28. SEC team. I don't know. Upset. Doesn't matter. It's in Oregon. I think Cal, they'll stick with them.
Yeah.
Will?
Totally agree. I think Herbert, I'll say this. If Oregon wins, I think they could possibly, I wouldn't say they win.
Okay.
But I mean, that's huge.
That's huge for
them.
them.
If Cal wins, that's a huge game as well. Mm-hmm. Look at that win. So.
Yeah, I think Cal will be ranked, honestly, if they do get the win.
This is the game for Herbert to come out and put himself in the Heisman
conversation. Exactly.
This is the game where he needs to step up and just have
the first 6 weeks. I don't even know if he's in the Heisman. He's not in the Heisman conversation now. I'm going to say that right now because he's just been people that have been average for the past 6 weeks. You're not putting him in the Heisman race.
Yeah.
So I don't think Herbert will have a breakout game even in this one. I really don't. I just think it's going to be almost like a 17-20 game. I'm not going to tell who wins, but I just think it's going to be a defensive battle. And even in the Pac-12, it's kind of rare. Yeah. All right. Auburn, Florida. Game day, game of the week in the swamp. Tigers. Bo Nix has not thrown for more than 150 yards in any of his games.
Ooh,
We're going to start with you, Ben, this time. What do you see in this one?
Well, Auburn's still undefeated, and really not many people are talking about them in the SEC with Alabama, Florida, Georgia. They're still undefeated, and they've probably had the toughest schedule in the country so far, playing Oregon and A&M. Oregon at a neutral site and A&M on the road. This will be another great test for them on the road again. I think it'll be a very close game. It'll probably be both teams will score around 35, 38 points. I think it's going to come down to how Bo Nix plays and how Florida's backup quarterback plays. I think it's going to come down to the quarterback play in this one.
So you see a shootout in this game? I don't.
I don't. Yeah.
I honestly do see. I don't think Kyle Trask can keep it with the Auburn offensive line. I don't think Bo Nix can throw against the Florida secondary. Honestly, I see 1 touchdown and it's probably defensive. Yeah. So Nix, what do you think?
Both of these teams have both offensively struggled, and both of them have done amazing on defense.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Defense is going to win this game because both defenses are going to put up points for the
Okay. Will, what do you see?
Like you said, Chase, takeaway. I think Auburn.
Okay.
The D-line's probably going to force a fumble, and I think that will be the only touchdown in this game. But I also don't trust the Florida quarterback.
You don't trust Kyle Trask. You do not trust Kyle Trask.
He's going up against an amazing Auburn defense. I just don't know.
And the Florida offensive line. Me and Nick were watching tape of them yesterday. They cannot run block.
Yeah.
And Florida depends on Lamonaco Pirine to get the run game going. If they can't run block against Derek Brown, Nick Coe, and Big Cat Bryant,
it's gonna be.
I don't see Florida scoring at all.
Yeah, Florida,
not even a field goal.
Yeah, Florida's gonna struggle to put points in this game, at least offensively.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
When Florida played at Kentucky a few weeks ago, now Kentucky's no Auburn, but Kyle Trask came in when Felipe Franks got injured with 2 or 3 minutes left in the third quarter. 3 scoring drives in a row there.
Okay.
Game. Now they haven't scored consistently this year, but I think they will put up points this game. And Auburn, if they're going to be a playoff contender, they're going to have a good offensive showing to convince the committee. They're going to have to have a good offensive showing against a strong team. And I think this week is their chance. So that's why I think there could be some offense in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Bo Nix's more of a runner than he is a passer, but he can still throw the ball. I don't know how close this game's going to be close, but I disagree. I think it's one.
Yeah, Auburn's a year away. Nix can get some experience.
All right. Okay. Next one. This is our questions of the week. We added one more at the end, and it's a good one. But first of all, Will, what was the most surprising game last week for you?
We're gonna you can go.
All right, Nick.
For me, I think it was Clemson and North Carolina. I think though Clemson won, it was only by 1 point. I think they showed how vulnerable they are, and I do not think that they end this year in the playoff conversation.
Okay. Most surprising game that I had last week, it was probably that game. However, SMU proved themselves last week. 14-52 win against South Florida. Now they're 5-0 undefeated. I think that was a pretty surprising game. I expected that to stay pretty even, but it did not stay even. Will?
All right, mine's gonna be Arizona State upsetting Cal.
Okay.
Huge upset. They're in California. Their home stadium gets number 15 in the country. Beat them. That's a huge
win for Arizona.
And
they're ranked now too.
They also beat Michigan State in Michigan State. So
okay.
Huge.
So Arizona State, they're a little sleeper there. All right. Who should drop from the top 25 based on last week? That's still in it, Nick.
I was looking at a few different games. One that caught my eye was Texas plays West Virginia. I don't think Texas is nearly as good as they were last year.
I completely agree. I would honestly have to go with Michigan State last week. Sure, you scored 40 points, second straight game against Indiana. That's not bad. But you also allowed 31, and you're supposed to be the best run defense in the country. They're tied for 25th with A&M. They are barely holding on. If Ohio State beats them this week, no chance they're going to be in the rankings. Will?
I'm going with A&M.
A&M.
You play 2 very good teams, and you both lose.
Okay.
And that just shows that I don't think they can compete against these high-caliber teams. And, I mean, I just don't think they're 3-2.
Okay.
So just...
Again, tied with Michigan State for 25th.
Yeah, and I think Michigan State deserves that a little more.
Okay. All right. Who should be in the top 25 that is not?
I feel like after this week, I think Duke has a very
okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a sleeper team. I think they have a very good chance to enter the rankings.
Okay. I'm going to go with Baylor because, Will, I'm sticking with you there. They're undefeated, and they've gotten big wins, and they're still not there. They beat Kansas State this week. They proved they're high caliber, 5-0. They'll definitely get in the rankings for me.
I'm going to have to go with Baylor.
Okay.
Baylor, I mean, before the season, like I said, I told you they'd jump in.
Yeah.
25. Beating Iowa State is a huge win. If they could beat Kansas State.
Okay. Our fourth question, it's big, and it is whoever gets in the New Year's Six Bowl. Remember, there's always one group of 5 teams, which is Mountain West, AAC, Sun Belt. There's always one that gets in the New Year's Six Bowl, no matter what their record. If your record's 7-6 and you're the best team out of all those conferences, you're gonna get in the New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah.
Even if you get destroyed 62-0. Which team? Boise State 5-0.
Sorry.
UCF 4-1 or SMU 5-0 will be in the New Year's Six Bowl.
First things first, I don't think it will be UCF.
Okay.
I really don't like them. I think they don't know what.
Yeah, and UCF, SMU doesn't play UCF on the schedule this season, so we're not going to see one of those huge games.
What quarterback are you going to start? I mean,
yeah, just decide already.
Come on. But this is a hard decision. I'm looking at Boise State.
Okay.
Oh, they 5-0.
5-0, yes, sir.
They're ranked like 20, 21, something like that.
Okay.
They're very impressive. Not many people are talking about them.
Yeah, remember all these teams are ranked inside the top 25.
They are, but I just think they're all around the best team out of these. But SMU, they could.
Okay.
I really do.
Nick?
I don't think SMU can get in because UCF and Boise State have both in the past few years been very consistent and very good teams. I think that they build up the status to be in this conversation. I agree with Will. UCF does not have does not know who the starting quarterback's going to be. Really.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Boise State's undefeated at this point. I think Boise State goes.
Okay. And I got to go with Boise State. What you guys said. First of all, there's freshman Hank Backmeyer. God, I mean, he's looked phenomenal throughout these games. 15 touchdowns in 5.
Yeah.
I honestly think with their running game, Robert Mahone, 2 receivers, C.T. Thomas, John Hightower, and then, of course, Hank Backmeyer, with a good enough defense to be able to stop Mountain West teams and probably UCF. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah. They will make a New Year's Six Bowl. Yeah. All right. Super Dogs. We're going to start with Nick because it's first time on the show. So what do you think?
My Super Dogs a little probably not as predictable as some others maybe, but I have Purdue who plays Penn State.
Okay.
Purdue's coming off one of their best wide receiver, just got injured. He's been one of the best players in the country.
No more.
And their quarterback also was injured, but I also think that this is an important game for Penn State because they're about to hit the rough part of their schedule. They're going to start playing teams like Wisconsin and Ohio State and Michigan and Iowa. And they can't go into those games with a loss if they want to be able to contend for a championship this year.
Well, Super Dogs.
UC.
That's tonight. Cincinnati taking on UCF. UCF favored by 3.
I mean, I could see UC upsetting this.
Okay.
They're home. That defense is so strong.
And Desmond Ritter's no lie.
He's
4 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
UC just a very consistent team. UCF, they don't know.
Again, quarterback's been an issue.
You still don't know who you're starting, and
Okay. I agree. Ben.
UCF's coming off a loss.
Ben, who's your Super Dog?
I got Northwestern this week getting 8 at Nebraska. Nebraska coming off a 41-point loss to Ohio State. Not really sure how they're going to respond to that loss. I can see them losing this game outright or winning it convincingly, but I'm going to take Northwestern getting 8.
Okay. My Super Dog is TCU. They're on the road at Iowa State this week. Iowa State coming off emotional loss against Baylor. That's going to affect them, and I think TCU they lost to SMU. I was emotional. Then they just came back, overpowered Kansas 52-14. And they're just gonna be ready to play. I think TCU they'll win outright. I think they take down Iowa State. Now we go to my favorite segment, Saturday selections. Let's start with we're gonna go like this. Let's start with Iowa, Michigan. Go.
Very tough game.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Iowa.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Iowa. I just think Michigan they're too sloppy this year. They almost lost to Army, and I just don't trust Michigan.
Okay. Nick.
My opinion, Michigan right now should not be ranked. They just can't move the ball, and they've had too many close games. I think Iowa wins this game by a lot.
Ben?
I got Iowa, and I think this is a must-win game for Jim Harbaugh's job. I don't see him having a job with Michigan at the end of the year. If he loses this one and loses to Michigan State and loses to Ohio State, this is a big game for Jim Harbaugh. I don't think he's going to get it.
I completely agree with all of you guys. Iowa, and they take it big. Their quarterback, Nate Stanley, has been one of the best and one of the most underrated in the country. And again, Hardball loses this. He's on the hot seat. Kansas State at Baylor. Nick, let's start with you this time.
This was a tough game to pick, but I think I got Baylor coming out.
Okay.
Make a jump possibly to the top 25 after this game.
Okay. Will?
Baylor.
Okay.
Like you said, they're home. They had a great win versus Iowa State last week, and I just think they're going to ride that win into this game and beat Kansas State.
All right, Ben.
Got the Bears by a field goal. Close game, but they're at home.
I'm not taking Baylor. I'm taking Kansas State. I think even on the road, I think Skylar Thompson, emotional loss last week, they will step it up. And I think Jordan Brown, a phenomenal running back. They got Dalton Schoen. I think Skylar Thompson, one of the best dual threats in the Big 12, and I think he proves it today against Baylor. Tomorrow against Baylor. All right. Michigan State taking on the Buckeyes. Start with Ben this time. Ben?
I started earlier. Ohio State, huge win last week. I expect another one this week. If they're not going to let the Spartans come in and ruin their playoff chances again like they did a couple years ago, got the Buckeyes big.
Nick?
I agree with Ben. I think Ohio State right now is the best team in the country. I think they win by 30+.
Will?
Ohio State, home. I don't think Michigan State can
handle Justin Fields.
Nah, especially in Columbus, yeah.
All right. I'm going with the Buckeyes as well. And I think it will be 0-0 after the first quarter, and then the Spartans will just fall apart. Fields will probably throw for 3 touchdowns in one quarter, at least twice. And I just think they're not going to be able to stick with – I think Dobbins will have a great game too. I think Buckeyes pull it out. Cal, Oregon, Will.
It's really tough, but I'm going to go with Oregon.
Okay.
I just feel like offense, Justin Herbert, I think he's going to explode in this game. Maybe 4 touchdowns.
Stay in the game.
And over 300 yards, yes, and I think Oregon gets a huge win.
Nick?
I actually have Cal in this game.
Okay.
Justin Herbert has just not had that big breakout game, and I don't think it's going to come tonight. I think Cal's going to win this.
Ben?
I need Herbert to have a breakout game because, as you know, Chase, I picked Herbert as my preseason Heisman. I picked the Ducks as my preseason national champion. So
how's that going for you?
Not looking too well, but I got the Ducks winning tomorrow night. Probably 7-10 point game.
All right. I got to agree with Nick on this one. I'm going with the Bears. I think Chase Garbers, he already had 1. Why not 2 breakout games? And I just think Oregon, their defense is a lot below average. I don't think Cal's is about average, but Oregon's not great. I think Garbers throws all over the Ducks. Game day game of the week. Auburn taking on Florida. Will?
I'm going to go with Auburn.
Okay.
I just think Florida, I feel like that quarterback, I don't know how he's going to react to this Auburn defense, Auburn D-line. And the Florida offensive line, I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. And yeah, I'm going to go with Auburn.
This is a really tough game, but I just don't trust Bo Nix. I think that Florida wins this game by a field goal. It's going to be 10-7, somewhere around there.
Ben?
If you look at Auburn's schedule the rest of the way, they get Arkansas next week, or next get bye, then Arkansas, but then LSU, Ole Miss, Georgia, FCS Stanford, Alabama. The road's only going to get tougher from here. I think they have to get this one, and I think they will. Because if you look at Alabama, Georgia, LSU, that's a very tough stretch. And Florida, still a top 10 team. That's 4 top 10 teams in October and November alone. But Auburn, I think they're going to get this one.
Yep. I mean, it's a tough game for me, but I'm sticking with the Tigers. I've watched the Florida offensive line, and if they can't do it against Vanderbilt, they can't do it against Auburn. So I'm going with the Tigers. I mean, Derek Brown, he's probably a top 5 draft prospect. He will show that probably multiple sacks today versus Auburn. Okay, well, that's game day. But before you guys go, what will be the biggest upset this week, Will?
I'm going to go with this one right here.
Okay.
Iowa upsetting Michigan. Now, when you think about it, it's not really a big upset.
It's not a big upset, no.
Iowa's projected to win, or no, Michigan's projected to win. But I mean, if Iowa can beat Michigan, that could be Michigan's season.
Okay.
Mine's Cal and Oregon. I think that Cal is a lot better team than we're taking them for right now.
Okay.
They dropped 12 spots after a tough loss last week. I think that Oregon drops back and Cal goes back in the top 20.
Ben?
It's really a tough week to find upsets. I think Stanford's a possibility, but that's kind of a dark horse pick. Cincinnati at Central Florida's close picks. I think it's got to be one of those two, but I think more likely is the Bearcats over the Knights tonight.
Okay. Mine is Ben Superdog. I'm going with the Wildcats Northwestern again with Ben said coming off a 41-point loss. I just think Adrian Martinez is already gassed after having to run away from Chase Young pretty much the entire game. Yeah. It's going to continue today. Their offensive line's not going to be able to block them. If they can't block South Alabama, they can't block Northwestern. Northwestern gets it done by a field goal. All right, guys. Thanks for being here, Will. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Nick, anytime. Ben, appreciate it. All right, well, you guys be sure to watch all the great games this week, including these 5 right here. Be sure to like, sub, ring the bell for more great vids. Peace.